This will be the first of a series on book reviews about philosophy, religion, politics, sociology, psychology and cultural studies. Hopefully everyone will enjoy this new series. The first book I will be reviewing is a book known as Spiritual Terrorism, Spiritual Abuse from Womb to Tomb. This is a scholarly work written by retired hospice chaplain Dr. Boyd Purcell. The whole premise of the book explains that the control-based nature of abuse and the roots of spiritual abuse being rooted in the teaching of a punitive God who casts the vast majority into little hellfire forever. Dr. Purcell explains how this spiritual abuse also contributes to other forms of abuse, such as sexual, physical and verbal abuse. Dr. Purcell is also very careful to not accuse those who are guilty of spiritual abuse of purposely doing evil, and how they often think they are trying to help people or doing what they believe God wants them to do. I have to admit I would not be so charitable with the guilty. Dr. Purcell then explains the different levels of belief when it comes to hellfire, from the hardcore infernalists to ultra-universalists. This also includes annihilationists, belief that only a few are in hell or that hell is purely a choice and the doors are locked on the inside. Dr. Purcell explains how differing extremes exist within all denominations, which he divides into the categories of Catholic, Orthodox, Anglican, mainline Protestant, evangelical, and fundamentalists. In the first part of the book, Dr. Purcell tells of specific instances of spiritual abuse, and how they are rooted in literalism, legalism, and mixed messages, all related to the idea of literal hellfires. If anyone is wondering, legalism just means a belief in salvation through following a set of rules. Dr. Purcell gives 2 chapters on spiritual abuse in their most common forms in the Catholic and Protestant churches. Yet Dr. Purcell is clear that he is only explaining that this is not meant to be a representation of either Catholicism or Protestantism as a whole, but does not sugarcoat forms of abuse that have gone on. Dr. Purcell explains how end times theories provide fatalistic and fear-mongering superstitions about coming prophecies, such as the mark of the beast and the Antichrist, along with rapture ideologies. When it comes to the Catholic Church, Dr. Purcell tells of the role of clerical sexual abuse, along with extreme ideas of mortal sin. In this section, Dr. Purcell continues to speak of the psychological disturbances that come from spiritual abuse, such as anxiety, depression, anger and double-mindedness. There are also chapters about other related forms of abuse, such as the treatment of suicide, capital punishment, medical ethics and divorce and remarriage. Dr. Purcell also mentions matters of atheism, agnosticism and cynicism. Dr. Purcell even mentions George Carlin's famous line about God torturing sinners for all time, but loves them. In the second part of the book, Dr. Purcell does a great job at making a case for universal salvation through showing teachings from the Bible, and taking the best from multiple theological systems to make a case. This chapter can get pretty heavy on theology and Bible studies. But Dr. Purcell makes it easy to understand. This section is written in the form of an algorithm known as universalism. But I will not tell any more, so as to not give away spoilers. In the third section, Dr. Purcell does some comparative religion, and what one can learn about universal salvation from the other religions. Dr. Purcell does a good job at having spoken with representatives of other religions, and avoids misrepresenting them, such as misrepresenting Islam as violent or Hinduism as polytheistic. However, there is not a lot of descriptions of other religions, considering that this book is about Christian universalism, and other religions would be a whole other topic to write about. My stance? I recommend it to anyone interested in the topic. It is well written, easy to understand, well-balanced representation of other denominations and highly scholarly.